Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome to oneminutetennis.com. In today's session, I want to talk to you about how to make sure that you get the correct and powerful muscle groups into your forehand, and to check that you're not using the weaker muscles of the forehand and robbing yourself of potential power and spin. Now, as the ball comes to the forehand, we have our ready position, we've made our split step, we have our unit turn, and then it's very important that we have the correct take back using the large muscle groups of the medial side of the body. Most people watching this, if you look at your forehand closely, will find that they're using the weaker lateral muscles of the arm. Let me explain. The medial side of the arm is the inside of the arm here, and this is where we're strong. It's where we can make a strong pose. The lateral side of the arm is the outside here. And if I take the racket back, I'll just turn to this direction so you can see, and if I take the racket back with the racket first and the elbow and arm second, so look round about here, the racket is overtaking the arm, and now the racket is back first and the arm is second. And if I swing from there, I will be swinging predominantly from the lateral side of the arm. Even as I take it back here, I can feel that I'm actually taking it back with the lateral side of the arm. A good way of checking this out in your technique is to quickly go backwards and forwards with the swing. So I take the racket back and forwards, back and forwards, back and forwards, and I can feel all down my tricep the stress of the racket as the momentum from going backwards is reversed. I shouldn't have that feeling. You shouldn't have that feeling. The feeling should be on the inside of the arm. So now I'm going to take it back correctly, and the elbow is going to go back before the racket. I'll put the racket into several different places because there's no hard and fast rule. Kyrgios, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, they all have slightly different angles for the racket. But they all the professional players, take the racket back with the elbow first. So now I take the racket back with the elbow first. With the racket first, with the elbow first. With the racket first, with the elbow first. And if I apply the same trick that I've just used and take the racket back with the elbow first and then come forwards, elbow first, and then forwards, elbow first, and then forwards, I can feel the pressure on the bicep and on the medial side of the arm. The racket will then naturally drop behind the arm when you begin the upswing to the ball. You don't have to consciously think about this, it will just happen. Let me show you what I mean. I take the racket back with the elbow first, and then if I swung forward and the racket did not go back, I don't have a stroke. It would just be absurd. And so when you go back with the elbow first, then naturally the racket will drop behind and you'll have the stroke. So as long as you set it up right, you don't have to think about that part of the stroke. But by setting it up correctly, you're using the pectoral muscles, the deltoid, the bicep, all of the strong muscle groups of the arm. By setting it up incorrectly, you're initially going to use the lateral side of the arm, and then the big muscles try to help you out and catch up as the swing develops, but the damage is already done. A very simple way of picturing this is if you imagine that you're playing football or soccer for the Americans out there, and you're the striker and there's somebody who's marking you, the defender, and they're what's called touch tight. Everywhere you go, everywhere that you travel on the pitch, they're just following you and they're touching right behind. And then the referee looks away, and just by accident you give this guy a little bit of a nudge, okay? And now it's the same motion here. We're going to go back with the elbow first. Another picture for this is if you had a bow and arrow, a long bow where it's very hard to pull the string back. And we would take the string back this way. We would never take it back this way. This is weak. You couldn't pull the string back. This is strong. This is a powerful position. So make sure that in your forehand, you're taking the racket back with the elbow leading and the racket following, and you'll add enormous power to your forehand, and you'll also have more stability and more control. I hope this makes sense. I'd love to know how taking the racket back correctly affects your forehand. You know I love your feedback, and I try to reply to every single comment. If you like this idea and want more help with your game, have a look at what online coaching can do for you. We're helping players of all ages, all levels, and all over the world with a new unique brand of online coaching and video analysis. So take the racket back correctly in your forehand. Use the big muscles of your body and overpower your opponents with a faster, more powerful, and more consistent forehand today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.